trying to hold on. And it was a bigger challenge than I realized. I was very fortunate in the fact that when it came to my medical care, I ended up with a very strong advocate in the neurosurgeon that was heading the neurosurgery department at the VA at the time. But I think that if it were not for the fact that my kids, I would have jumped. They were really my sole motivation for hanging on.
And just so we all understand, you did make it to the bridge, and it was on the bridge where that voice said, "What are you doing?"
No, I was on the sidewalk about halfway between the bike gallery, bike shop, and the Safeway. I was looking up and seeing the bridge from a distance.
So you hadn't quite gotten there.
I hadn't quite gotten there, and I didn't go to the Safeway. I went back to the streetcar stop down by Central Library and went home. My first time in ever going to the Vista Bridge was just recently, 8 years later, when we had the vigil for Marina Hamlin Rock. I did not tell my kids till a week ago that I had actually thought of killing myself at the bridge, partly, no, mainly because of shame. That, I'm really known as Happy-Go-Lucky. My nickname often is Pollyanna, so the fact that I actually gave the thought of committing suicide by jumping any thought was it's kind of hard to talk about. So
we want to hear more of your story and what it was like to go to the vigil. But I want to introduce Kenneth Kahn first. He's a co-founder of Friends of Vista Bridge organization and an attorney whose office is at the base of Vista Bridge. Kenneth Kahn, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
How long have you had an office there at the base of the bridge?
Approximately 8 years now.
How many suicides have you been there for?
8. Now, I haven't been witness to all of them, fortunately, but I've been aware, say, coming back from court, walking up the street, and seeing ambulances and seeing a body covered by a shroud. And there's been a couple where I've actually been involved in where I've had to deal immediately with the aftermath of the suicide.
Can you give us a sense for what you've experienced?
Well, it's like a body detonating. You can survive a leap from 6 stories, but you can't survive a leap from 12. The sound a body makes when it explodes is about akin to the worst belly flop you've ever heard. It's unmistakable and chilling.
This has been going on since you've had the office there. Have you thought about moving?
I was always taught that you don't run away from your problems. I cannot escape death. I think it's hubris, arrogance in the face of the gods, to think that moving away will stop death. We all encounter death on a daily basis. When we get on the freeways, there are accidents. We have an awareness of it around us. Unfortunately for me, it's more immediate, but it was also a primary motivator to finally do something about it.
What made the difference for you? This is, at what point did you decide this is an issue I'm going to speak out about?
Well, they didn't seem to be ending. And in our perception, my wife and I, they seemed to be getting progressively worse. And we became aware of the people who were affected by the rubble left by a suicide. And a couple of years ago, we'd been approached by the Northwest Examiner, a fellow by the name of Alan Clausen, who had run a story about this. And there had been a wellspring of interest since that story came out that finally crystallized with David Stabler's article in the Oregonian.